Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Quantum Lounge, an inspired group of people who come together every week on this Zoom platform and talk about everything quantum, spirituality, and indeed life itself. How we can make a better life for ourselves and how we can make a better life for humanity, for our children. Tonight's topic is, do we live in a virtual reality? And I feel with the facts that I've seen, especially of late, that we do. And it would make perfect sense to me because quantum physics has spoken about everything truly is energy. And when you start to look into it, we'll start to understand that it's almost like we're wearing a headset. And when you go within, like all the great masters have been telling us for thousands of years, and now all the great scientists are telling us exactly the same thing, that we are creating our reality from within. And we've spoken about this before, that everything is energy, everything is a frequency. And the more you raise your vibrations by loving, caring, non-judgment, eating good food, eating good water, and staying positive, giving gratitude, you raise your vibrations and you can then start to become aware and consciously create your reality. But the problem is, which we've spoke about before, we get programmed from a very early age. Switch off the TV. So I'm going to open up for anyone who wants to talk about it. And you too could be a guest on this show. So drop us a line if you're interested in these things. And don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. So I'm going to open it up to anyone who wants to say anything.
I think Alan should go first. I vote Alan.
Alan, you've been voted.
Thank you, Rob.
I've never voted.
Spotlight on him.
I've never voted in my life. Today was the first time, so I voted for Alan.
Yeah, there's a voting that's going to take place in November. That's pretty important for a lot of people. And a lot of people are all emotionally worked up about it. But what I'd like to talk about is, speaking of your world and virtual reality, I think for children, speaking of programming, what are they after, or what have they been taught? Marks from grade 1 to the end of university or whatever. Oh, you're 60%, you're 70%, you're this, you're that. It's all about marks. And then when you get out into the work world, it's all about money. Oh, I got a raise, I got a promotion, I got this, I got that. And we try our best to get as much money as we can before we die so that our children can have a good inheritance. Those are the two things, marks and money. So we're so programmed to step back from that and realize, hey, I'm alive, life is good. All my emotions, as Jane was saying earlier, affect me. Everything I do affects me. If I get mad, if I judge, if I do this or that, it affects me. So why would I do that? I can just be happy, step back from the programming and the carrot in front of you, and realize you already have the carrot. If you have life, you have the carrot. And if you have a belly button, you're part of the club. So enjoy life, folks. And I'll pass it over to Jane.
All right. Thanks, Alan. That was profound. What was the topic again?
We live in a virtual reality, simulation.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. And the simulation, the best part, I believe, is the simulation is not created by anybody else. It's created by I, me, myself. So each one of us, I believe, create our own reality. And subconsciously or consciously, we decide what we want to experience, right? So sometimes we think, oh, why did this happen to me? But subconsciously, when you're judging something, or something is a trigger, or you don't want it and you focus on that, I believe that comes into your reality so that you can then experience that, and 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 that's the way of learning a lesson and expanding, like, and the same scenarios keep coming back. I've noticed for myself, the same scenarios keep coming back until I've learned my lesson about, like, what was it about this that I'm so attracted to. So there must have been something within me that wanted that experience. And I think the same thing for could go positive or negative, or if I don't say positive or negative, I guess happiness or sadness. It's all a choice, because happiness is a choice and we choose that in our reality. And subconsciously, sometimes we want to be victimized and then we choose the other reality. So there's nobody to blame or no circumstance other than ourselves. And yeah, definitely we live in a virtual reality that's created by us, and we don't even know that we're creating it. But once you realize you're creating this reality, boom, that's it. Like, there can be sadness or suffering, because you created, and if you created, you know how to get out of it as well. So yeah, that's what I believe.
Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
You passing it to Jane.
You guys, whoever wants to speak.
Carl, were you going to jump back in?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, whoever wants to, talk about it.
Well, I guess
Bobby.
I guess I'll go now. And like Jane said, we're not taught that. We're not taught that that we're creators, right? And I think it's really, really subtly done through everything, through religion, school, the news media, as Carl mentioned. And so and Alan too, we're programmed, taught this, taught that, imprinted with this, imprinted with that. So we think that we're existing in a world, not creating it. So we're not living somewhere, we're creating somewhere, and we're each kind of our own universe. And, like Carl mentioned, a virtual reality or a holographic universe that we're creating the story for. And it's really difficult. I'm 40 this year, and I'm just, it's only been in the past couple of years where I really started waking up to that most of my reality has either been in my mind or how I viewed things. And like Carl always says, if you turn off the news, it doesn't exist in your world. And the people who pump out the news know how powerful of creators we are. So we're creating that reality for them, and everybody's co-creating that reality. And so they're feeding it. And so what they focus on expands. And so if you're constantly watching those things, of course they exist in your world. And of course they seem insurmountable because you're giving them so much power. But if you just unplug the the TV set, they don't exist in your world. And that's not being insensitive or burying your head in the sand. It's being firm in your conviction of what you're going to tolerate to take into your system. Your diet, not, we've talked about before, not only what you eat and drink, but also what you watch and who you associate with. So if you're always doing, looking at evil or looking for it, that's going to show up in your world. And so, that's why I think we have to be more selective of what we choose to watch. And nowadays with AI and CGI and stuff, we don't even know if half the stuff we're seeing is real. I know that I've seen some people, they can't tell the difference between it or things like that. And so I think that's we're on a slippery slope. So we have to realize, and I think more people are waking up to that, we're powerful creators and that we are creating reality. And even if to some extent you don't believe that, you have to really take the first step and understand that you have the choice of how to react to the reality that you're seeing. So yes, there may be certain things that you don't like that are going on in the world, but as everybody here mentioned, how are you going to respond to it? Are you going to let it affect you? Are you going to get upset? Are you going to contribute to the negative thought energy and that's being put out into the field? Or are you going to say, yeah, that's unfortunate. What are we going to do now? And move forward to create what we want in the future rather than dragging the past with us and complaining about it and starting from what we want to build and, you know, from our highest joy and the things that we prefer instead of, you know, gossiping or complaining about the news or that. And, you know, so I think that's what we gather here to do every week is to try to expand on these things, right? And it's wonderful. I love it because we're all co-creating in the moment. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different opinions, but we're all respectful of the other people's views, and we do our best to listen to other people's views because you don't, you know, it's like I'd rather have a mind. The saying, I'd rather have a mind opened by wonder than one closed by belief. And so, you know, like Jane said, opening our hearts to what other people view and who knows, and we get to understand things from different perspectives, but then also that we do get to see that, oh, okay, I'm not the only one who feels like this, that we are these creators of our reality, and that we have the responsibility to be very, very, you know, it's our next choice. It's always our next choice. What are we going to do next? Because the past is gone and we can't really, there's no getting it back, right? So
Thanks, Rob.
I think you're on mute, Carl.
Oh,
Oh,
can you hear
no.
me?
Yeah, no. Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Sarah, would you like to say anything?
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about virtual reality. It's very easy for us in the first world country problems to say certain things, but what about people who are going, like, I don't know, I just have very mixed feelings about. I understand what we're talking about here tonight. I understand, especially Rob, what you said was amazing, what about the past and the future, but I have very mixed feelings about this subject because I've seen people who suffer horrendously, and you can't say to them, you know, whatever happened yesterday does not help you in your future. So I don't have too much to say right now because I have very mixed emotions, even though I understand where we're coming from in this amazing, amazing lounge here with us. But yeah, I have mixed feelings on this subject.
All good, Sarah. It's all good. That's the great thing about being more consciously aware. No matter what anyone says, it's okay to discuss that. And I would just like to speak to anybody who listens to this and they're involved in religion. We're not taking God out of the picture here. We're putting God firmly in the driving seat. No matter what God you look at, that divine creator and all the great ones have told us that we are made in God's image, but we've mistakenly put God up there somewhere. Not all religions, but some do, that a man that has got all the issues that human beings have. No, we are multi-dimensional beings. The universe is massive. We don't even know the end of the universe. It goes on forever. And this divine power has created us. We are made in that essence. So we are also creators. So it doesn't put God out the picture, to puts God firmly in the picture. And again, when we talk about the vibration, the highest vibration is love, understanding, caring, compassion. So we're not, oh, great, we create this. No. When you get to this point, you'll find most people, they're not just into the big car and the big house anymore, as Alan spoke about. And there's nothing wrong with abundance. But when you put that first in your life, you're not going to create happiness. When you put God or source or coming from your heart firmly in the first place, the rest of the things will follow, which all the great masters have also spoken about. And Alan spoke about children. This is the most important thing that we can teach children, the power they hold within, with their thoughts, with their emotions, because from the time they're born, they are getting downloads. Now, what downloads are we giving the kids? The same old, to live a same old life, or to be a creator of this beautiful Garden of Eden that we live in, Mother Earth, this beautiful planet. And you look at it from afar. I always think that the day I pass over, I'll be looking down on this planet and I'll think, did I give my best to whoever I met on this planet and to make that a better world? Or is it just selfish, all about me? Because it's all about, we're all in this together. And thank you for joining us. And it's been fabulous. Everyone's comments have been fabulous. Thank you. And if anyone wants to say anything more, they're welcome to.
I was just
Naturally,
gonna add-
All of a sudden, we all want to talk.
Go on, no problem.
Go ahead, Alan.
well, what you said, Carl, God is not only not the man in the sky, but God is within. That is the amazing thing, to realize that God fiber, that God ray is within. And that is what is creating all the time. You know, it wasn't just created in a long time ago. It's being created every moment. Just look at the clouds going by, the weather, it changes every moment. And we can change our reality, as Carl was saying, because we live in a creative virtual bubble. We are creators. So it is within. Feel that life force within, realize that you have the power, and to give thanks for that in every moment.
Thanks, Alan.
I was going to say that too. The kingdom is within. Jane, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, you said the first part, Alan, of what I was going to say. And then the second part I was going to say is, of course, we're all made in the image of God. We are part of God. So God, as you said, is not just a man or woman out there. God is you. God is me. God is that little dog. God is the beautiful flower. So source or God, if we start looking at everybody that has come from the same creator, that has the same potential, I can't see anybody poor anymore then. I wouldn't see anybody suffering if we all start looking with that same love and beauty at another person and knowing that we are all one and we're all part of God. So hopefully one day, if all of us start realizing that, this world, this planet will be a better one.
Yeah, and that's I just wanted to mention about what Carl has said, mentioning the children, and I had this conversation with somebody today. And because I've mentioned before, I don't know on the show, but with the group, about the kids in the playground outside, and they're out there playing right now. And they always, like, if I'm having a rough day or something, just them outside playing reminds me that I think the kids are here to teach us, and that's what I said to somebody today, is that even Jesus said, be ye as little children to enter the kingdom, because the kingdom is free of judgment. We're in the Garden of Eden. We're supposed to be playing, not controlling everything, not making a monetary system out of the earth, not selling it for profit, not selling it to the highest bidder, not control this, government that, speed camera this. We're supposed to be here to play with our friends, as kids, and go out and create whatever we want to. And because when we're creating from a place of love, there's nobody there to point the finger saying, hey, you can't do that, because our true essence, that's what Jesus was here to teach, was the law of love. Moses came with the commandments because the people at that time needed some rules because of their consciousness. But by the time Jesus was here, he was here to get rid of all that, to teach, go do what you love and let everybody else be. And, don't worry about the plank in your brother's eye, because when you have a speck in yours. So just worry about what you want to do and create with joy and love, and everything will be perfect. And if we were all more like children, I think this world would be a much better place.
Thanks, Rob.
You're
So,
welcome.
my friends, hopefully you'll join us sometime. If you'd like to, put your email underneath this YouTube video, and you be the change you want to see in the world. Gandhi was onto something there, wasn't he? Take care, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.